In the interest of time, I have to move on to other topics. Now, comes to this daily stand-up. Now, what will happen? No matter how much planning you do, something is going to change. So that's where the fourth value statement is what? Respond to change over following a plan. Alright? So there was a need to have a mechanism so that we can respond to change. And hence, Scrum introduced something called as daily stand-up or daily Scrum meeting. Unfortunately, it was perceived as a daily status meeting. And the people on the ground hate the most this particular event. Why? पहले तो यार हफ्ते भर में देना होता था, अब तुम रोज ले लेते हो. And that's why people are either looking at their mobile or they don't want to go there. And even if they are there, they are just there with a cup of coffee. Has that happened to anyone in this room? Most of us. But let me flip the coin and help you understand what is the purpose of it. If you are part of that development team, what is the definition of a development team? The person who puts their blood, sweat and tear to make the vision into reality. If you are in that team, the biggest, most important meeting you should go prepared is the daily stand-up meeting. Why? I myself used to be a developer for many years, and the biggest thing I used to hate is somebody coming and patting my back, not for good reasons, but to ask, "Kahan hai bhai tu?" 3 times in a day, people will come, something called as project manager, and ask me, "Kahan hai yaar? Kahan pahunch gaya yaar? Kya kar liya yaar?" And I used to hate. The reason I used to hate is, यार तुमने मुझे काम दे दिया, मैंने तुम्हें estimate बता दिया, उससे पहले आना है. I used to think like that. Alright? Okay? If you are like that, and you feel that I am accountable, alright? And if you have done the breaking of the subtask rightly, because you have understood the story, then this meeting is the most important meeting. You should go the most prepared. The most prepared. Why? Because the moment you go to that meeting, and if you have done this right, alright, you are going to talk sense to other people. Today what happens is, since we don't go prepared, then we say anything and everything. And since it doesn't answer the questions of other people, and hence people start asking you questions, and hence it takes too long. If I go prepared of what I have done, do you think there will be questions or cross questions? I don't think so. But the problem is, we don't know what people want to listen. Let me tell you what people want to listen. Alright? So mechanically it says what I did yesterday, what I am planning to do today, anything blocking me. This we all know. This is called theory. But ideally what these 3 things meant, not very people really understand what these 3 things really meant. Okay? Let me take a stab at it. Alright. If as a developer, dev team person, if I speak anything in a daily stand-up, I need to keep only 2 things in my mind. Whatever is going to come out of my mind, the first question I need to ask is anybody interested? If the answer is yes, let it go out. If the answer is no, shut your mouth. Don't even say it. Most of the time I would say, अरे वो जीरा वाला वो जो था ना वो ये वाला मैंने वहाँ कर दिया है, मतलब मैंने ये कर दिया है, right? People are not interested in that. But if I talk it such a way that I have done the coding of that particular business logic, all right, which will help story number 2, this task to proceed further. Or I have done the data load, which will help you to do your unit testing or move it to another environment. Now, do you think people are interested? Yes, people are interested. So you talk what people want to listen. People don't care whether you have done this task, not done this task, they don't care. People want to listen that how you help them to move further. That's all they are interested in. Alright? And if you are completely independent, then the only thing people are interested is that how close you are to get that functional story done. That's all. that is another reason to have the names as techno-functional, so that it gives a value to the itching project manager and itching product owner. Okay? Alright? But if there is a true Scrum Master, actually he will never itch. Don't worry about that. But product owner will. Alright? So the point is, if you speak, which is what people want to listen, is what it means what you did yesterday. Alright? Because this whole goal was taken as a team, not as an individual. What today we think is, ये 5 story लिए हैं, ये मेरे नाम पे है, मेरे नाम पे है, मेरे नाम पे है. We just go back and we never collaborate. We think at the end of the sprint, how do we judge ourselves? मेरी तो story हो गई है, देख लो आप. सौरभ ये उसकी story हमेशा नहीं होती. I mean, just saying for an example, but that's how we do it. We don't even think it as a team game. Unfortunately, we don't even treat it like that. You always say that मेरी तो story हो गई. और मेरी स्टोरी नहीं हुई है, मेरा तो डेवलपमेंट कंप्लीट हो गया, तो टेस्टर ये हमेशा जो नहीं करता है. टेस्टर नहीं कहता तुम मुझे हमेशा आखिरी दिन देते हो. Right? This is what the battle we fight all the time. Alright? So the whole point is, you speak what people want to listen. That is nothing but that how you are going to help them to achieve their piece of work. Alright? Or functionally, what did you achieve? Okay? And then today what you are planning to do in order to help again people to move forward. And in this process is anything blocking you. Which could be that I need, Saurabh, after this meeting, a 5-minute discussion around that particular data load. Alright, I need a 5-minute discussion. I am stuck in a particular piece of logic, is what I need. Okay, I just came to know that me and you might end up changing the same class as part of 2 different stories. We need to have a catch up after this stand up for 5 minutes. It could be anything. A tester might say, I ran that particular test case, alright, and I am getting some negative response. Can we have a 5-minute understanding? It could be anything. Alright? Blocking normally is felt कि आज कुछ कर ही नहीं पाऊंगा. No. Blocking could be a 5-minute blocking also. Blocking could be a misunderstanding also. Blocking could be, I am not able to proceed on certain test case just because of so and so reason. Alright? Okay? Not everything and anything has to be clearly called out, because we believe in black and white and we want to save our that. Come on, we have to start trusting each other. Alright? That's the whole point. Am I making sense here? So daily stand up, if you are part of the dev team, the most important meeting where you should go, the most prepared. So please, if somebody says our stand-ups are long and so on and so forth, you are part of the problem, because you are not going prepared there. You are all over the place, you are speaking anything and everything, whatever comes to your mind, which people are not interested in. Alright? Even after telling all this in multiple trainings, people still say, Gaurav, मैं तो समझ गया आपकी बात, मेरी team members को और समझा दो आप. If you just change, looking at you, people will start changing. If you will talk cut to cut, people will start seeing the difference. Alright? That's how you change the behavior of other team members. Okay? Make sense? Alright. I think enough said on daily stand up. Okay? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay, so now another thing to be able to respond to change, alright, was created as part of Scrum was Burndown chart. It is also an artifact, alright, which unfortunately everybody thinks they know and nobody uses it. Alright, okay. How many of you really know how to look at a Burndown chart? Okay, very good. 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. Okay, can you explain what the Burndown chart does really? What does this mean?
Amount of work pending.
Sorry?
Amount of work pending.
No, this. I'm talking about this.
Means it helps hours, but in reality it's amount of work pending for that sprint.
Okay, how about you?
I mean, I know about that.
How about you both agree to or disagree to him? Let me ask you that
This is
question.
the time which is remaining for a particular cycle that we have executed.
No, I'm talking about this.
Right, this is the remaining time. So I have allocated, say, 4 resources with 40 hours each. So I have 160 hours. So this is 160 hours for a particular sprint.
No, this is the scope of work I took. This is amount of work which I took for this sprint. So when I started this sprint on 30th January sometime, I said with my capacity, I am going to do some 740 or whatever hours worth of work. This is what I took at the first day of the sprint. Alright, now my whole goal in this sprint is what? To complete this work. Now I need to be able to see whether I am on time or not. Am I making sense here? That's all I need to do. So if I want to quickly check the health of my progress, I should be quickly, within a second I should be able to say that. Alright? And Burndown is a beautiful mechanism of saying that. Alright? What does it do? Simple. If this is the number of days in your sprint, this is the amount of work you have taken on the first day when you start after the sprint planning. Alright? What you do is you draw a straight line to the end date. This is your plan. If every day you utilize productively these many hours for the whole team, in an ideal scenario, that means you are on track. That is your plan. Right? Isn't it? Alright. Now, actual will always be different. That is what this red line is. Alright? Okay? So what this red line tells is that there are 7 plus minus 2 people. Everybody is assigned some Jira task with some estimated hours around the subtask. Every day, whatever you did, you log your effort and put into the right status. Alright? What that does is you have burned that many hours from what you originally took. Isn't that? You have burnt that many hours. Agreed? So what that will happen is that will bring down. Agreed? Now if this red line is below this grey line, that means what? You are late or early? Early. You are faster than what you planned. If it is above, then what does this tell you?
Delayed.
You are delayed. Now the question comes is, to engineers like me, how much? If I am delayed, then how much? Right. Now my question to all three of you is, who knows Jira Burndown chart, can this chart tell me how much?
Estimated value between the line, the straight line that actually has to be, and if we are late, then we can calculate based on that.
Okay, so you are saying if I am here, I calculate this difference. Is that what you are telling me? Alright, okay. But if I want to ask you how many more days it will take if I was willing to extend the sprint length, how many days worth of delay it is? Can I figure that out? Or let me ask you another question. If I was willing to compromise on the scope, that instead of 5 stories I will do only 4 stories. Can I figure that out? Can a Burndown chart tell me? Yes. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't even know that. This is so hugely, simple, but yet very effective mechanism to objectively mention the progress of your project, which unfortunately most of the project managers or Scrum Masters, even in Fidelity and other places, also don't use it. Alright, you were saying something, sorry.
So in order to know the number of days more required or the scope which you can reduce to cover within the sprint, if you find this difference, say for example it is 80 hours and you see that you have the 4 developers, like you have 32 hours of each, based on that you can calculate the number of days it will take more.
Okay, not really. Alright. What you really do is you take this dot Now, if you are here, now try to,
Extrapolate it.
yes, connect these two dots and take it till the time here it connects. So this is number of days, it will tell you number of days. Alright, that is if you were to figure out that if I were to increase the length of my sprint, what it will do. Alright. Other way around, if you want to see that, then you take this and then go to the scope. Alright. That's how you will get in terms of scope. Alright.
Join the dots to the straight line.
Yes. So both ways it will give you what is the variance. Alright. Alright. So this is a very clear-cut objective way, not a subject. Today our statuses are subjective, quite subjective, feeling based. Right? This is a very objective way of doing it.
I didn't understand the second one how. And the first one I understand that you take that line till it will tell you how many days are extra required. The backward I didn't understand the second one.
Yeah, so if you will connect this, because this is your end date, now you don't want to increase this, now you take this and merge this. So it will tell you this much scope you have to, whatever is that difference, you have to remove it. That much of scope you have to remove it. That's all it is saying you. Very simply. Right? Okay?
Gaurav, generally, like I am done with my, like 8 hours. 8 hours, I have completed my day. Whether I have completed my work or not, I will just put 8 hours. That's the problem.
Very good point. Thanks for bringing this out. So, what happens is this. There are two types of burndown chart ideally which should be created. And so, let me put it this way. If you are estimating it in hours, then you need to have two types of burndown charts. One is this, and one is similarly, instead of on the y-axis, you keep number of issues, number of stories. And whenever a story is done is when you